Listen, welcome to our What's Your I Can live boost. Are you ready? Are you excited? I'm super excited to be here with you on this afternoon with our What's Your I Can live boost. We are talking on creating a new physical reality, and we're dealing with pruning. Okay, so spring is a time of renewal, a fresh start, and a season of a fresh start, a season of transformation. Just as nature begins to bloom, we too have an opportunity to refresh our physical space, clear out the old, and make room for the new growth. But before growth happens, pruning must take place. So at the beginning of the year, I share with you all my journey for the year of pruning, right? Of cutting away and making sure that I don't have an abundance of what looks good, what seems good, but it's really harmful. You can have too much going on, and it causes you not to be able to produce the good fruit that you are looking to produce because you have a lot going on, and it's taking away from the other areas where you can pretty much concentrate yourself or consecrate yourself in or focus in, and it's taking the nutrients, it's taking your strength away, it's taking your joy away, it's taking your happiness away, it's taking your clarity away because you have a lot going on. Though it may be good, but it's not good for you. Pruning isn't just about cutting things away, it's about being intentional with what stays and what goes. It's a biblical principle found in John 15 and 2. Every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. And that's what we're wanting to do during this spring cleaning or spring pruning season that we are in. We want to bear more fruit. And the only way we can do that is by cutting away things that are not leading to our fruit producing mechanism. So that means even the good things in our lives need refining so we can grow stronger and more fruitful. Today, we're going to talk about how pruning your physical space can transform your mindset, productivity, and overall well being. And this is exactly what we're focusing on this month in the WYIC Inner Circle, creating a new physical reality. While the inner circle is currently closed, you don't have to wait to start your transformation. Start now. Stay tuned to learn how you can work with me right now. So let's jump into this because, as I stated, I have been going through my personal pruning session, like, or pruning journey, I would say, pruning adventure, where I have been taking off old things, taking off the old mindset, old emotions, that are no longer serving me. And the results have been fabulous. I feel lighter. I feel more fruitful. I am seeing the fruit. I am experiencing the fruit. The fruit is manifesting in deliciousness, not a bitter fruit, something that you look at and it looks good on the outside. But when you take that bite of grapes, when you take that bite from the apple or from the orange and it has a bitter, it's supposed to be sweet, and your mind and everything is all set to, oh, this is going to be so good. Have you ever felt that way when you walked into a grocery store? And I know many of you, if you're like me, well, I'm not going to say like me, was like me. I used to try my fruit before I bought it, especially if I'm purchasing grapes. They look so good, so well polished, right? So bountiful. But if you don't try them, maybe you try one and that one is good. But what about the rest of them? You can't sit there in the store and eat all of them. And I know that much. You can't eat all of them, right? But it's like when you buy it and you don't try it first and you get home and you start eating the grapes or try one and you're like, these grapes are horrible. They aren't as sweet as they need to be. But if you kind of sample one or two before you get the bunch out of the store, it's like, oh, okay, I know I got me a good bunch, right? And so this is what we don't want. This is what we are trying to avoid, where we have people access us and we look good on the outside, We have the features, the right features, we have the bells and whistles, but when they step on the inside of us, when they come into our person, when they get to know our mind, they get to know how we think, how we feel, how we move, our morals, our values, our character, um they're like, no, I was tricked. That's not what we're going for. So your environment, let's listen to this. Your environment directly impacts your energy. But before we step into this, I always ask, if this is your first time joining my channel, or joining a what's your I can boast or boost. If this is your first time joining an I can, what's your I can boost? I would love for you to put a one in the comments. And I'm going to get a huge shout out to all of my YouTubers. Yeah, we are here together. Okay. We have our Facebook family. We have our YouTube family. We are in this space together. So if this is your first time joining me on YouTube or on my Facebook, put a one in the comments. If this is your second time joining me, put a two in the comments. If this is your third time and beyond, put a three in the comments. And all of my ones and twos, all my threes, show mad love to my ones and twos, and let them know that this is a safe space. This is the perfect place for community, for growth, for transformation, for spiritual development as well. Personal, professional, and spiritual development. This is like your one-stop shop, holistic, okay, community, so that you can gain the mental and practical guidance you need to transform your life into a life of abundance. And we're here for the single moms. We are here for the BIPOC single moms, and every person, everyone else that joins in, you all are so welcome to this space. We thank you for being the allies that you are. We thank you for being the supporters that you are. We love on you. We appreciate you. So if you have anything that you are wanting to share, okay, this is what I need you to do. If it's a statement, put a hashtag S with your statement so we can know that it's a statement. If it's a question, put a hashtag Q in the comments with your question so we can know that it's a question, so we can answer your questions. And get this, we are bringing something back. We are bringing something back. Our live Q&A session. So listen, the thing about that though, you have to wake up early in the morning to join in, to get your answers, to get your questions asked and answered, right? Our live Q&A sessions, they were phenomenal. So this is how you are going to really embrace or dig into this season of your life, this spring cleaning, this pruning season in your life, by partnering, by joining, by asking the right questions, by listening to the right information, by even decluttering and turning away from a lot of information that you are getting, because you don't want to be on an information overload. That will burn you out. Okay, so we are going to jump into now why pruning your physical space matters. We're going to talk about it. Since you have all been acquainted and you know the reason why we're here, we are going to talk on why pruning your physical space matters. Give me a reason why. I want you to drop that in the comments for me. If you're on YouTube, drop that in the comments for me. Why pruning your physical space matters. Why does that matter? I know growing up, we were always taught to clean our rooms, make sure the bed and stuff is straightened up. And a lot of times young youth, I was young once, I'm still young. I sound like older person. I was young once, but in my earlier years, I had that same mentality that many may have now, that says, why do I have to fix my bed or make my bed when I'm going to get right back in it? It doesn't make sense. But we're going to tap into this. Why your physical, or why pruning your physical space matters. Why getting rid of things matters. Why decluttering matters. Okay? So your environment, listen, directly impacts your energy, focus, and peace of mind. Your environment directly impacts. You may think that it don't, but it does. So try going into a space that is really cluttered, okay? And then go into a space that is really neat. How do you feel? You can tell the difference. You can feel the difference. You can feel yourself more relaxed, able to think, be inspired, have new ideas and new information to come into your spirit, into your soul, because the atmosphere is conducive for that type of download than one that is really cluttered, one that is overwhelmed with your favorite things, with your favorite songs, with your favorite entertainment, with your favorite, a lot that is going on that is not helping you. It is good, but it may not be helping you in that moment. You have your favorite books all sprawled around the room instead of having them in a neat place, and maybe having one or two out on your night table so that it can become more of a place of, I'm ready to receive what my atmosphere is allowing me to receive, instead of looking at your space and said, oh my gosh, it's too much going on. This is out of order. That is out of order. Have you tried to read, if you are a biblical studier, if you study your Bible, if you're like me, you study the Word of God. My thing is, if there is too much going on in my space, I cannot concentrate on what I'm studying. I cannot. If I haven't taken care of your laundry, if I haven't taken care of snacks or a meal, if I haven't taken care of, my work, my business aspects of things, then all of that comes into my mind and interferes with my right now focus of studying. So I have to clear the distractions. I have to prune from the distractions, right? I have to prune myself from the overload of what's growing around me, what's growing in me, on me, and through me, right? So your environment directly impacts your energy, focus, and peace of mind. When your space is cluttered, your mind feels cluttered, your minds, and you're wondering why you can't receive anymore. You're wondering why you can't think clearly, or you are losing information that you once was able to hold on to, right? You are losing information that was pertinent, right? You lose your keys easily, you misplace your phone, or you forget your phone is in your hand and you're looking for your phone. Maybe it's because you are cluttered. You can't feel the way you want to feel. Your emotions are all over the place. You have no space to land your emotions, and you have too much stimuli going on, right? Emotional stimuli. You're cluttered. When your surroundings are intentional, you feel empowered and in control. When your surroundings are intentional, you feel empowered and in control. And that is the best feeling ever. That is a great feeling, to be able to think clearly, to be able to know where things are, to move in your space without bumping into anything. I'm talking about physically, and I'm talking about, emotionally and mentally and spiritually. You can move, you can maneuver in and out of spaces without bumping into anything, without running into anything, without tripping over anything, without falling over anything, because you have created the environment to be conducive for you to maneuver in mentally. You can think freely. You can have creative ideas flow into you. You can release freely when your surroundings is conducive for what you are wanting to manifest. You feel empowered and in control. We are all about empowering the elite single moms in the BIPOC community to reclaim their life of abundance. And today we're doing that by looking at, pruning. Pruning your physical space matters. So pruning your space means, we're going to, if you aren't familiar with me, you will need a pad and a pen so that you can take copious amounts of notes, because I love it when you are able to go back in your quiet time, in your secret space, and you begin to glean over and draw even more out of the pages from your own personal journal that you have been keeping to write down your thoughts of the day, thoughts that other people may have presented to you, and you can go and you can draw from that, add your own thoughts to it, add your own genius to it, your own boldness to it, right? So always have a pen and a notepad so you can take copious amounts of notes. All right, how does that sound? Pruning your space means removing what no longer serves you. Pruning your space means removing what no longer serves you. We're pruning our space, old items, clothes, papers, and distractions. These items, even if it's good things, you want to put them and organize them in a way that even if they will serve a purpose, are they serving a purpose now? Is this for a future time? Is this something that I'm going to get to? So I have a whole lot of books. So I have my books in a library, of course, so that I tend to I get so much, I'm an information hound. And so I have so many books around me on my bed and on my nightstand to where I lose focus trying to read out of all of them. But the greatest way for me not to lose focus is to remove the distractions of the other book, because my mind starts to jump everywhere and I can't focus on the main thing right there is that one book. And so I have to move everything else and put it out of the way until I am complete with that one book and then be able to bring it out, right? Old items, things that are no longer serving you, right? Is this serving you? Why do you have it? Can it serve someone else now? Can it be a answered prayer to someone else's right now need? Make a space for what aligns with your next level. So pruning your space means removing what no longer serves you, making space for what aligns with your next level. This is why it's crucial to have a life plan. It is crucial to have goals about yourself. Where are you going in the next month, in the next week, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, right? I have my plan set all the way up for 10 years. So I have a plan. I have a 7-year plan. I have a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 1-year plan, a 6 months plan, 3 months plan, a couple of days plan, a few weeks plan, so that I can know where I'm going. And when things are around me that is no longer serving me, I can make space for what aligns for my next level. Organization, functionality, and beauty. So all of these matters, all of these areas come into play for my life because of my life goals, my life plan. One, I'm all into etiquette. I'm all into becoming the very epitome of Kristy, of our highest self, in my speech, in my walk, in my clothing, in my thought process, in how I communicate, how I weave myself in and out of crowds of different levels, right? So I have to make sure my space works for me. The tools that I use works for me and those that I want to invite into my space. So I talk about building your relationship table, building stronger relationships and knowing who to put and surround and bring to your table. But you don't want anyone coming to your junkie house. Right? You don't want any, if you have the attitude of, oh, I don't care, it's about, they shouldn't come anyway, then that is a poor man's mentality. And we're going to change that. We are wanting to throw that mentality out the window, because you want to take care of your space, because it shows that you respect those that are coming over and that you respect yourself. Okay. So we want to set up our environment to support our goals. That's the third one, improving our space and what it means. We setting up your environment to support your goals, because your space should reflect the life you're stepping into. Your space should reflect the life you're stepping into. But the key is, if your life is a life of rich and wealth and luxury, then you have to baby step your way into that, right? Don't just go in and spend lavishly because, oh, my space got to reflect who I am and what I'm stepping into. No, you can baby step your way into that. Right? So when you prune your space, you prune your mind. When you prune your space, you prune your mind. You let go of overwhelm, stress, and stagnation. When you begin, because procrastination as well, stagnation, not able to move, not able to blossom, not able to grow, you become stagnant, you become still, and still water brings about yuckiness, right? You become yucky in your thought process, you become bitter, you become burnt out, you become depressed, you become overwhelmed, you become frustrated, irritated, you become out of character, right? You can't move, you can't go and flow the way that you want to flow when your mind isn't pruned, when your isn't pruned. So now when you prune your space, you prune your mind. You let go. You're letting go of overwhelm. It's a natural, it's a release, it's a give and take, it's a reciprocity, it's a law. I want to say that. It is a law that when you let go of something, you are being able to receive the new. You're receiving what is more pleasant, what is more appropriate for you. So now we're going to talk on the process of pruning, what needs to go, because you're like, okay, we got that. I understand the process and the purpose of pruning, but how do I know what needs to go? You want to ask yourself, what in my space represents an old version of me that I've outgrown? What in my space represents an old version of me that I've outgrown? This could be, cluttered drawers. We want to be real practical here, because you want to declutter the outward, your physical space, so you can know how to declutter your inward space, your own mind, your own soul, your own spiritual life, your own, person. You want to create that physical space, and then you want to create the inward space to match. Okay. So you want to ask yourself these questions. This could be cluttered drawers or piles of papers or clothes you never wear. Maybe you are looking at those clothes and like, I'm going to lose weight one day and I'm going to be able to fit these clothes, all the things, or clothes that you just, you love it and it's hard to part with. Well, if it's something that is hard to part with, do the hard thing. Do the hard thing. Find a loving home for that item that like, okay, it's hard for me to part with this, but I want to see it go into good use. Okay. So you have to do the hard thing. Okay. Books, decor, or objects that no longer align with your vision. Declutter from these. Yes, it may be a beautiful something, a piece of a vase or an armoire, something that was given to you. It has a great value. Maybe you don't have to get rid of it. Maybe you just need to change locations within your home, right? To serve the purpose in a different space. If it's something that it was handed down to you and the purpose it served is for memories and it's a family heirloom, then those things that you do want to keep. You want to know this is a family heirloom. This is something that is going to be handed down to my daughter or to my son, or it stays in the family. You have to know, okay, this serves for this purpose, right? So what is your vision? It has to be in line with your vision. A disorganized workspace that makes productivity harder, right? A disorganized workspace that makes productivity harder. So is your desk a mess? Is your cabinets not organized? Where your office is set up? Are these spaces conducive for a productive work? Do you have so much on your desk to where you can't find anything? Or you say, well, I work better under pressure. So all this organization, I can find where it is. But once you clear everything and assign things to its proper home, you'll begin to have a new flow. You'll change that mentality. Oh, I work better under when there's a lot of chaos going on. Right? You don't work better. You trained yourself to operate in a life of chaos, and that is not a healthy, that's stressful. You're always, where's this? Where's that? I've had, but when everything is in order, it's going to take some training to get used to the newness, right? But it is going to provide a stress-free life for you. And that's what you're wanting, because you want to live to see 120 years old, right? You want to pass down good work ethics, or you want to maneuver in your space in a way that is a representation of who you are. Like even relationships or habits tied to your environment that drain you. That could be a tough one, right? Relationships or habits tied to your environment that drain you. What is draining you? Who's draining you? Maybe you're looking at that co-parent of yours and like, well, I can't really just get rid of them because they got to be a part, but there are boundaries you can set into place. You can stand on boundaries. You can, as you are decluttering yourself and your space, you can begin to, slowly and surely allow those same type of boundaries to be, or decluttering or maneuvering changes be made to the person that is connected to you, or to the people or the habits, changing things. It takes, some things will take slow changes, but you have to be consistent in those changes still, right? Pruning isn't always comfortable. Pruning isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it requires letting go of things that once served us. Letting go of things that once served you us. In that moment, in that space, it was good. It helped you. It gave you life. It gave you hope. It gave you strength. It gave you a changed mindset. It gave you, what you needed during that time frame. But when was the last time you picked that back up? When was the last time you picked that book back up? When was the last time you put on that piece of clothing? When was the last time you used that, that bowl, that cutlery, whatever it is? When was the last time you used these items that served you in that purpose? If you say, oh, that was 3 years ago, it's time for you to let it go. Oh, that was maybe a year ago, a year and a half. Okay, maybe it's time to let that go. 6 months, if you haven't used it within 6 months, listen, 9 times out of 10, you may not use it again. So if it's older than 6 months, let's refresh. Let's hit a reset. Let's refresh. Let's refresh your closet if you're able to. Let's refresh your pantry if you're able to. Let's refresh your cabinets, your drawers, refresh, right? But remember, pruning isn't about loss. We don't want you to look at this. I don't want you to look at it that you're losing anything, because you may be one that is struggling with loneliness and always losing, out in life, or you're already feeling a sense of, I can't win from losing. No, we don't want you to look at it as a loss. It's about making room for more growth, abundance, and clarity. You making room for greater. You're making room for sweeter fruit, so that when people come around and they begin to experience you, they don't, your outside may look good, but you know what? You want that outside. You want everything to, to match. You want to flow there. You want there to be a flow, not a stop. Oh, this, I thought they presented themselves very well on the outside, but then they get to talking to you, and then there's some, oh, I don't know if I want to, they're not in alignment. They nasty. They talk with confusion and doubt and depressed, and they don't know where they're going. Their lack of clarity, and then they step into your home and like, oh, well, this is why their home is out of order. No wonder they are out of order, but you have put on this mask. That's a story for another day. Making room for more growth, abundance, and clarity. Okay, so we're getting ready to wrap this up. Refreshing your space, steps to a new physical reality. Refreshing your space. And we're going to talk about this really quick. Now that we've identified what needs to go, we've identified those areas. Let's talk about what we're bringing in. We want to bring in the right things. This doesn't mean going to bring things in all at once. Here are the 3 steps to refresh your space. Declutter with purpose. Don't just organize mess. Remove it. Don't just move mess from one side of the table to the next side of the table, right? Remove it. If it doesn't bring peace, productivity, or joy, let it go. If it's not in alignment with your morals, your values, your purpose, your mission, who you want, let it go. Let it go. Redesign for alignment. Set up your space to reflect your vision. If your goal is growth and success, create an environment that supports it. This could mean adding a vision board, or better lighting, fresh flowers, or an organized desk. An organized or organized desk. Commit to maintenance. Pruning isn't a one-time event. So put this on a calendar, like every so many weeks or every so many days or at the end of the week, at the end of the on every Friday, I'm going to make sure everything that I have collected throughout the week, if it's no longer serving a purpose, I need to let it go. If it's receipts, that's no longer serving a purpose, let it go. If someone gives you something that's no longer serving a purpose, if you don't use it within a certain amount of time, let it go. Do this every week or every month or every 3 months. Set yourself up on a routine so that you can make sure you are keeping free of clutter so you can grow the way you desire to grow. Pruning is not a one-time event. Just like trees need regular trimming to stay healthy, your environment needs regular refreshing to support your next level. Your environment needs regular refreshing to support your next level. Okay. So next we're going to step into our new season. And how do we do this? Spring isn't just about blooming. It's about preparing the soil. We do this by preparing the soil, pruning the branches and making room for what's next. Today, I challenge you to look at your space and ask, what can I prune? What can I prune? Because when you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for greater clarity, peace, and blessings. And that's what stepping into your I can is all about. Letting go of the old to step fully into the new. And here's how you can take this even further. You can choose your path. You can join my free community, the Angelee Vision Inner Circle, for ongoing inspiration, empowerment, and support as you step into your next level, which is no cost, just connection and growth. You can join the WYIC Inner Circle waiting list. Want exclusive access to the next enrollment? Get on the list and be the first to know when doors open again, because we're currently closed. Our doors are currently closed for this enrollment. You can launch like a mom boss, which is if you're ready to start or grow your business. This coaching program gives you the strategy and confidence to build something powerful. We want to add on to what is already being, to the shift, to the flow, right? Enrollment is now open for that. And then also your self-care. This is part of self-care. Pruning is part of self-care. I have a self-care 5-day challenge, only $20. You can prioritize you with this quick and transformational challenge designed to refresh your mind, body, and spirit. Join for free, get on the waiting list, or dive into one of our transformational programs today. Drop a comment or DM me to get started. Thank you so much for joining me on today's What's Your I Can Live Boost. Tag someone to let them know that there is a place and a space for growth, transformation, empowerment, and community. Have a blessed day.